share. Copy link, paste it. Yeah, so if you go to the link, you should be able to download 2.4.0. I'm sure you can find the downloadable link here, but yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Okay, so once you download that, let's go to assets, import package, custom package. So that's how you can import different package. So that's how you can also export your file as a package and give it to your team. Your teammate can import it like this. So we are going to download this one, foundation and example. First one, foundation. It's a big script, big package. Okay, that's a big package. Just say import all. I'm assuming you have watched the 2 tutorials. That's why I'm not covering the AR foundation today. Is that okay? Okay, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, it's taking a bit time. All right, while we are waiting, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to import a Rhino model today to this scene and let it display the different parts one by one, yeah, with a button. So for that, I have a model and I'm going to use that as an example. So that model is a chair design, and I'm going to share with you how to prepare that file to be imported to this. So I'm going to share, I'm going to display a chair like this, and I'm going to let it display line by line. So imagine that we are like displaying one by one, so we can make it one by one. Okay, while we are building that, maybe let's prepare the Rhino model. Later, we are also going to learn how to design this. Okay, so in Rhino, I have probably this is like randomly scaled. And this one, you need to change the unit to meter, okay. And at least I have something that I can associate. I have a chair here, so I can kind of tell how much, how much I should scale. Normally, a chair, so this distance, so this one is 1 meter, right? So this has to be scaled down a lot. And normally a chair needs to be 45 centimeter height. So I'm going to make a box from 0, 0, 0 to 0 0.45, 0 0.45, 0 0.45. Let's have a look. Okay, so that is the scale of a chair. So person needs to sit right there. So I'm going to put this in a layer as a guide. I'm gonna change the name. Okay, and I'm going to scale everything. I'm gonna lock this one. Scale from somewhere here. So I'm going to disable somewhere here where the person is sitting to here. So that is a good position for a chair. Okay, and I'm going to move this person here because that's the model I need. This is not a good model because it's poking down to the ground and it's not clean. It's okay. Yeah, we will eventually have to clean it up. But for this example, I'm gonna ignore those details. Okay, so this is a well-scaled chair model. I'm gonna scale it a little bit more. Okay. So that's a nice chair model that I'm gonna use. And I have many parts. Let's see how many parts do I have. I have 24 parts. And in this Rhino model, because we are using this information for fabrication, so it has to be very precise. So if you have 24 parts, you have to consider that they are going to be displayed one by one like this. So maybe it's better if we make a proper layer. So I'm going to, sorry, where I made a mistake. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 24 layers just to be clear, yeah. And I'm going to put like one by one in that layer. Like this. It may look very redundant, not automatic at all. This is, but at least this is a very sure process. We could have perhaps named it in an automated manner, change. But we only have 24 parts, so let's not worry about it. Change. 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 So if your model is as clear and clean as possible, your making process will be much easy and neat. Okay, change, 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 change. And then after this, we are going to export this as FBX because FBX possesses all the layer information. Change, change, finally. Okay, we don't need these, we can say bounding box. And we don't have any information there, I hope. Yeah. So if you want to make it even clearer, you can name this layer back. But I think at least now they are chronologic, so I'm not gonna bother too much, just change its name starting from 0 or 1. And I'm going to export this one, export selected as FBX. FBX. Where is FBX? Here. And say Steam Odyssey chair. Okay. Okay, medium. Cool. So I have the chair model ready, and I'm going to save this as, yeah, just like that. In case I need to open this back, but I don't need it anymore. Okay, this is done importing and say apply. And we need to import the example. Did we do that? No, right? Okay, example. Okay. So demos, hand tracking, scenes, hand tracking, examples. Yeah. So this one is very interesting. If you just, it's the most like total totality of all the examples. So there is panel, there is like different things, but we are going to customize this button today. Yeah. So yeah, I really encourage you to try all of this and customize this to yours. They are really beautiful. And I'm going to just save it as, save the scene as, I'm saving scene as, right? Is this a scene? Save scene as, okay. Scene, sorry. I'm going to just Control D. Control D is copy and say my own copy of it and double click on this. It's same scene. I just made the duplicate. Okay. And then inside scene contents, all of these things were grouped out. So you see there are groups. So we are going to delete everything else apart from this guy. So bounding box, delete. Panel, delete. Yeah, touch example, delete. Unity UI, delete. Scene, I'm gonna leave it. This guy, delete, delete. And where is these guys? Okay, manipulation, delete. Keyboard examples, delete. Okay. If you play this, you'll still see the diagnostic. Yeah. You can click like a piano, and all of this button changes color here. Okay. So you can delete this piano. You don't need it. You can also customize if you want. And we are going to customize this button. Okay. Firstly, firstly, we are going to let this guy to toggle display. So, okay. So we are going to have, I'm going to share with you one script. So let's save, make a folder called scripts. I'm going to share with you a script called display on click. I'm going to share this guy with you. In our Google Drive. Display. Okay. Toggle house app. No, display on click. Okay. So let me just double check what's inside. Okay, so inside here, it has start button, toggle display on click button, grow on click button, and go back on click button. Function, sorry. So we can connect all of these into function. So inside this, what it does is it just turns everything off in the start, turn the set active, which means like turn the visibility off, and then when you say toggle display on or on click, meaning displays all the parts or shut down all the parts. Grow on click is when you click, it displays, accumulatively displays more parts. And this do the opposite. Okay, so this is good. In the scripts folder, drag this in. And then we are going to drag our chair model. So in models, the chair FBX model. So you drag the FBX model here. So when you use an FBX, it comes with all the layer name and the camera somehow. Yeah. So when you drag this in the scene, yeah. So you see the camera display became very weird. It's because it has all the Rhino cameras in. So we have to, this is prefab now, you have to right click, unpack prefab, and we are going to delete all the cameras. We don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. So now the camera looks okay. And we can move this chair in a nicer position. One good thing is that we already scaled it in a correct scale. So we are sure that it's going to be correct. Okay. That's great. And we know that we already set all the parts. And in Unity, it doesn't display double side. So it looks really weird. So we are going to use a shader to display this. We are going to use a new material. We are going to make a material called wood double side. And then I think because we are not using any render pipeline, so we need to use something from SS Store. So in 2020, SS Store needs to be used from browser. It's the same thing. So browse double side. So there will be a lot of double-sided shader, but they're not free. This one is free. So try to find Zirconia Studio free double-side shader. And import this guy. If it doesn't come like this, you can download this to your PC and import package from the custom import, like how we did it for MRTK. This should be a light package. Okay, let's wait a bit. Are you following so far? Okay. Cool. Let me know if you have questions. Stop me. Okay. Yeah. So in this wood double side, I'm going to let's first apply these to these materials. I wonder. So I think we can apply this at once. So just click, select all of them, and drag wood double side to this. I hope it applied to them all at once. Let's try. Okay, awesome. So we change the color into wood light color and change this shade standard shader to now you have this Zirconia Studio standards and is that correct? Okay. Standard opaque. Okay, it is showing double side. Let me try the other one, lit. Lit, standard and opaque. Why this is showing black? Oh, double sides. It's on. Yeah. Shouldn't be black on the other side, but I think it's weird. Sometimes it's, I think it's lighting. But this one is black. I don't understand. Okay, so but anyways, this was meant to be how you apply the double-sided thing. At least we can see it. Okay, and then we can improve the rendering qualities using render pipeline. Yeah, so let's not bother too much for now. Okay, so I have this chair, wood chair. Let's change it to wood chair. And make sure that the order here is the order that you want to display them one by one. Yeah. And then you want to connect that script to this guy. So SS folder scripts display on click to wood chair. So you have this. Okay. Now you can go to, so this guy is too far. You won't see it here from here. So I'm going to move this guy a little bit far so you can see it when you click. Okay. Okay. And then let's press the button. Let's change this thing. So this will, I'm gonna use this one to say, yeah, go back, and this one to grow, and this one to toggle visibility. Okay, so in order to change the event, you can go to this button and go down, scroll down. You have two different kinds, so don't worry about pressable button. It's not this one, but it's inside interactable. If you come inside interactable, there is also events here. So you see pressable button has also events. Yeah, events, don't worry about that one. This one, interactable, this one. So this one is telling this guy to change the color of this guy. So yeah, so what we don't do that. We are going to, instead of that, we are going to connect the wood chair here and use the display on click to grow on click, to play the grow on click. So let's see what's happened. What's gonna happen. So play. Okay, it disappeared. I can press this guy to start display one by one. And if you go to the final one, it goes back to the first one. Okay, that works good. So let's connect all of them. So let's connect this guy to the wood chair, display on click, toggle display all on click, and using this one, wood chair, display on click, go back on click. Okay. Now if I play, I can grow fill, and I want to see everything. I display and I can go back. And I can still go back. I can grow. And I can go back. Okay, this is actually more than half of what you need for fabrication, actually. Yeah, you just need to display them and put correct position and just display different parts, yeah, as your control. Okay, so how do you then want to make some more customization of this geometry? So, for example, this one maybe we want to change this geometry. So under here, only this parent have some like script. It looks very complex, but that's it. And underneath here, they're just pure geometry. So it means we just need to change these geometries. Okay, so for example here, I'm going to maybe change the geometry to something else. But before that, I'm going to move this guy, rotate this guy back to this position so I can easily replace some geometries. So for now, I'm going to right click. There are not much options here. So you can make anything in Rhino and import it as OBJ. Let me see if I have something already made. I'm sure I have made some button options before, so let me check it. My models folder. Do I have? I don't. Okay, let me just quickly make one so it doesn't take much time. Okay, I'm going to make a small triangle. Fillet, simple fillet. What's wrong? Okay, I don't know what's wrong. Fillet, trim, yes, join, yes. And by line. Why is this coming together? I don't understand. Anyways, extrude a little bit, offset, a little bit, primer surface, extrude surface, a little bit. Okay, so I have this geometry and this geometry. I'm going to import this, export selected, as FBX, because OBJ will combine this into one geometry. So button. And in the models, okay. Okay, you can use F. Okay, minus 90. So I'm going to use this button to go back, this button, the other button to go to do the opposite. But before I do that, I wanna customize the material and color. Okay, so more or less somewhere. Okay, and then, so I still have a lot of information. I'm gonna unpack, and I only need these two objects. So delete all the camera, unparent, delete. So this one is button. This one is frame. And the button, I'm going to use same material as this thing. So it's using MRTK standard light gray. Okay, let's use that here as well. So I'm going to search for MRTK standard light gray in all the assets. MRTK standard. I can change it light gray. Okay. And this guy I'm going to use, maybe there are lots of material from the import. So maybe I'm gonna just use one of them. But actually, I'm gonna just copy this material. So color button proximity material. I'm gonna search that here. Color button proximity, that's a material. Control D to make a copy. H. And I'm going to use this one here and change this color to something I want. Okay. Okay, cool. So I can say custom button, and I think this is ready to become a prefab. So I'm going to keep the scale as well. So I'm going to make a new empty object and say custom button in scale. And I'm going to drag this to under here instead of that, because that one has 30 numbers. So I'm going to delete and make this thing as a prefab. Create a folder, set prefab, drag this custom button scale here. Okay, this is just to save it so I can use it later. Okay, I have this guy. I need another guy here. So minus 90 or 180. isn't it? Okay. Okay, cool. So now we are going to replace this geometry, unpack the prefab. We go to the first button. So instead of tube, we are going to use frame. Oh yeah, so you cannot customize this because this is blue. So you also need to unpack this. Unpack that. Okay, let's only worry about the first one first. So for this guy, instead of a tube, we are going to use frame. Okay, and underneath cylinder container, instead of a cylinder, we're going to use button. Okay. So that's how you change the geometry, but you didn't change the interactivity. So when you go there, here, you have to use, instead of target, cylinder, you have to change this to button. Okay, let's do that for the other one. Right click. Is it? Is it? Which one is this? Okay, it's that one. Oops. Okay, this one. Make sure we unpacked it. Use the frame instead of tube. Use the cylinder button instead of cylinder. And inside this profile, we are asking it to use button. Okay, let's see if I have missed anything else. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, so when I press, okay, when I press this guy, oh, let me play this again. Play. So if I press, shows one by one, go back, toggle. Okay, cool. You may want to see like what's happening to the color of this button. Is because this color is using a event controlled color. So there's another color controller that refreshes, like overrides the original material. So let's see what that is. So everything is in the parent. Here you see there is pressable round button color theme. So if you click on it, you can see this. When you click on this, double click, you'll see that these are the colors that are assigned for a different state. So when it's default, it's this color. When it's focused, meaning when it's about to be pressed, and when it's pressed, and when you physically touch, and all of these. And there are a few different color theme. Here, this one, if you use this one, interactive offset theme. I think this one doesn't let you change and keep the color as original. So let's try that. So instead of color round button color, click on it to check. Yeah, we use this one instead. And let's see if it keeps the original color. Yeah, so now you see that this one doesn't change color. See? So they're different scheme. But this one and this one is using same preset. That's why it's got overlapped. So if you wanna have like new set of presets, you can also make a customized preset. So for example, for this guy, maybe instead of changing it to the default one, so press this so you know where this is, or you can type this in the search bar, and you can Control D, make a customization. So you can say, you can double click on this one and you apply that back to this guy. So you use a customized one instead of the default one, and you can start to customize your color. So maybe I can just to make it more visible. I'm going to try. Yeah, so what happens if I use this color for the left one? So now if I play, yeah, it's using this color, and when it's getting highlighted, it becomes this color. And when it's clicked, it becomes this third color. All right. Okay, maybe in this case, maybe I'm going to match with the wood color. That looks okay. And I'm going to use all these 3 buttons for that. Okay. This I'm gonna unpack it to use my color, unpack it to use my color. So even doesn't matter which color you're starting from, they will always grab the new color. Yeah, so it matches with my wood color. Yeah, and of course, it's if you just want to make sure this also have a good color just in the scene as well, then go to your button and change this color to the wood color you just made for this guy. So what was the name? Wood double side. Okay. Wood double side. That's great. Button. Wood double side. This guy as well. Have cylinder. Wood double side. Okay. And this guy, this thing is a panel. So continue from this exercise, I want to cover how to customize the buttons. So if you come here And if we want to customize this icon, we can, firstly, you need to unpack the package from, so right click, unpack the package so you can make changes. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you can see that there are lots of customized icons here. You can just easily click on it and change them. And what if you want to add your own icon? So you can see that there is this default icon set. So we need to modify this icon set. So you can just click on it and find it. You can make a copy and make your own set as well. I'm going to just go ahead and add just one more icon in this file. So in the quads, that there are also sprite icon set. So you can also check that that is also accessible. That's also accessible from here by changing this to sprite. And there are those sets. So that's how you access those icon sets. Come here and we are going to add a new icon by adding one more slot, by adding another, increasing the size. And you will need to import your image. So I'm going to use the imported image. When you import your icon, let me do it again with a new icon. Maybe I'm going to use, for example, this one. For example, this one, doesn't matter. Yeah. So if I drag this in here, you need to remember to change this one type from default to sprite 2D and UI, and say apply in order to view the icon properly. So let's go back and go back to our default icon set and just drag that image here. So we can also search the image from here. Don't remember what was the name, so it's better we go and check the name. Yeah, okay, we can drag it here. So it's called replay. Okay, so now if we go back, we see that new icon here. So we can keep on adding more and more icons. Let's add one more just by adding another slot and drag that home button as well and go back to our button set. You see, yeah, so that's how you add a new icon. Cool. And let's customize a few more things. So you can also go here and turn off, on and off this button. Of course, we can change this text to whatever you want. And what if you want to change the backplate color? So for that, you can come inside here and you can check this label plate or the backplate. So all of them are actually sharing a same holographic black plate shader. So coming in here, we can make some changes. This will apply to everything. If you don't want to apply that to everything, you want to make a copy of this material. Control-C, Control-V, Control-D, sorry, and rename it with something unique. And then you can come here and apply that plate. Okay. Okay, and then from here, you can make some changes, such as the width of the border and the brightness of the border. And we can also change the radius of the roundness. And let's go back to something like that. And then you can also change the intensity. And you can also change the color by click on this, and you see this file. It's a PNG file. And what I did is I made a copy of that, and I brought that file. So I think I closed it. I brought that file and just changed the color in Photoshop. So I'm going to use that inside my material. So I'm gonna go back. So I make sure this is this. Okay, and then I drag this one in. Okay, so you can see that this by default, it has some kind of shininess. It changes color from the left color to the right according to your position. And you can also add environmental coloring. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So this is more obvious if you see that to apply to everything. So I'm going to go ahead and show you I'm going to Control Z, and this one, the quad. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the default one. I'm going to make changes to this default one so it applies to everything. So you can see that, all right, the thickness, obviously, brightness, obviously, and the radius, obviously. Yeah, and this color, drag it here, and you see that it's actually changing the overall vision of everything. So it looks a little bit better if you match the color to your project color. You can also try this one. This one was there by default, and I thought it's quite interesting. So gives you some kind of rainbow-like color. You can also change the threshold here. So it changes the reflectivities on each icon. You can also change the angle of this. That's also pretty cool. I'm going to go back to my color, project color, and lower down. Okay, I think this works quite well with my project. And then I think also maybe you would like this to be having some kind of transparency. So you can come here and move this down. But before you do that, you need to change the rendering mode to transparent. And then you can come here. So you need to make it black and then start to boost the transparency up. Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, and I want to also cover how do you then, if you want to customize with your own material. So this, we are using their default material, right? So I'm gonna, yeah. So if I were you, maybe I will always turn this off. So we have standalone buttons. Yeah. But for this exercise, I'm gonna leave it on. And going to make another example by just copying this one, just to show you if I want to customize this this icon, the result is same. You can unpack this first. Unpack this one more time. Okay. And in the icon, come here and you can make a copy paste it shader. So Control D to make a copy and apply that to your icon. Yeah. And in this icon, we just change this one to your custom image. So just drag your icon here. It doesn't update immediately, so you can play it once and yeah, it does update. Yeah, that has a little bit of error, but yeah, it eventually works. But I think it's much neater if you just change the icon set. And what if you want to use your own image texture as a background plate? So in this one, you can also create your own 3D plate, just any mesh. You can match the position and scale according to this. Yeah, and basically you are going to replace this with this guy. Yeah. So for now, for comparison, I'm going to so you see that this backplate is here, right? So I'm going to unpack this as well. To drag this one here and turn this guy off. So this guy, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to just move it back and turn it off. And for this guy, I'm going to use my customized material. So I don't rely on their default setting. I'm gonna create a new material. I already made the material here, so I'm going to delete that and make a new one from scratch. Okay, so right click, create a new material. I'm going to call it backplate. And this one, I make it as a cutout. And then in Photoshop, I made my own custom material, which has rounded corner with my preferred color. You can draw whatever here. You can use any of your render as a background. So that's your custom image that you want to use. That's fine. And you can add you can drag your image in. Actually, the best is to drag it to your image folder. So let's drag it to your image folder. And in this backplate, drag this to your albedo. And we didn't apply that material there. So you go to plate and apply this backplate material there. Yeah, so that's how you apply your material, your image as a backplate material. And if you want to make it into transparent and also have a cutout, you will need to update the material. You shouldn't use the standard material, but you can use sprite, and you can use diffuse or default, but diffuse this time. And we can just change the opacity of this color. So in this shader, you can also have some kind of tint on this material as well. But that's also totally up to you. You can add transparency as well as having the cutout. Okay,